Lovies, and welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn, and yay, hooray, we're having my niece Cookie and her boyfriend Chris over for dinner tonight. There's going to be 5 of us, so I'm going to make a big old pot of spaghetti. Yay, hooray. It's a little bit rainy, it's a little bit cloudy, it's a little bit depressing, and this has great big bold flavors, and we're going to be doctoring up a Classico spaghetti sauce, and we're gonna have all the good things. I'm so excited. Let's get down to it. Dinner's in a couple of hours, but I want this to have a taste like it's been simmering all day. Absolutely. So I got my big pot out. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this to about a 6. I have a little bit over a pound of 80/20 ground beef. Go ahead and get that right on in there. You know I got that at a terrific bargain, $1.87 a pound. I'm not mad at it one bit. I also took these hot Italian sausages out of the freezer to thaw last night. Got these 30% off of $5.12. So yeah, that's more than like $1.75 off. Yay, hooray, that's a great bargain. This is gonna add a lot of flavor to our spaghetti, and I love sausage. Gonna just crack this open, and I am going to take these sausages out of their casing. I do not prefer the casing. That's just my personal preference. Leave yours in, baby. I don't care. Your sausage will be delicious no matter what. Your spaghetti, rich and hearty. I want plenty of big chunks of sausage in mine. If you don't like hot, you could use mild. You could use country sausage. That would be fun. Country style tastes delicious. But we like it a little bit hot. I'm just going to go ahead and throw those right on in there. Yay, hooray. And I think spaghetti is a great way to feed a few extra people. You can bulk it up with extra veg. You can bulk it up with some great noodles. Yeah, lots of sauce. If you didn't have meat, you could make this vegetarian. Yeah, just with the spaghetti sauce, just with some tomatoes, a few yum-yums in there. Yes, please, and thank you. And everybody has their own spaghetti recipe, don't ya? I am not Italian, but I love Italian flavors. I like how most Italian foods are budget friendly, but they have big, bold flavors. So you don't feel like you're deprived. You don't feel like you're on a budget. You just feel like you're having great food. And if you're going super ultra low carb, get yourself some of those zoodles. You know, the zucchini noodles over in the freezer section of your grocery store. Yep, use those in place of a pasta. I'm going to be using a whole wheat pasta today. That's a little bit better for my glucose levels than a white pasta. You know, I'm trying to stay off the white flour and the sugar, and doing a good job. So I'm not going to sabotage myself. Just going to enjoy some spaghetti. Yay, hooray. Usually I add the noodles right to the spaghetti and let that cook together for like the last 20 minutes or so. But because, pardon me, because everybody is a little bit different on how much pasta they're going to want or have, I'm going to go ahead and leave them on the side, and you can just add them to your individual plate, how much pasta you think that you want to have. Almost there. One more to go. Yay, hooray. Yeah. So my sister had to take her car in for servicing, and then her daughter, Cookie, my little niece, She's all grown up, but she'll always be my little niece. Was going to take her over to the dealership to pick up her car, and then they were all going to come over here for dinner when they dropped her off. So I'm going to squeeze up all my babies. And it doesn't matter how old they get. They're still going to be my babies. Even when they come to visit me in the nursing home when I'm 99 years old, yep, they'll still be my babies, and I'm still going to give them a big old squeezy. All right, I'm going to wash up my hands. I'm going to put this in the sink, and then I'm going to go ahead and just give that a little turn around in the skillet here. All right, I'm just going to break up that hamburger so I can get that good and brown. I'm not afraid to get a good brown on my hamburger because I think there's a lot of flavor in that, and I want it to be super yummy and delicious. Yay, hooray, yippee, skippy, can you believe it? I'm excited about tonight's dinner. Yeah. Okay. Got that all broken up. Just gonna let it do what it does. Be fantastic. I believe in you. Yippee skippy. Also got out the onions that I cut yesterday. Yep. Got those all prepped up. One less thing to do. I got this little bit of bell pepper. It ain't much, but it's mine. And hot diggity. So I want to make sure that I get every little bit of this off that I can. The rest of it is going to go into my compost pile. So we can make something extra yummy and delicious, you know, a few months from now. We'll just add some bites of bell pepper in there. Using what I have in the refrigerator so that nothing goes to waste. There we go. I also found a little bit of green bell pepper. And that is going to do it for me. That's all the bell pepper I have in the refrigerator. And we are using it up. We're not going to throw anything away. I have promised myself a no waste week. And that's good because I forgot to take my trash out last week to the curb. And let me tell you, we don't got any room. It's all filled up. You ever miss trash day? You know, I used to be able to get out there and, you know, run and push the cart out to the curb really quick. Get my trash out at the very last second. Yeah, I didn't even hear it go by. I just saw everybody else's trash. Their lids were flipped over. I'm like, oh, we missed it. We missed it. So we're all filled up. We've been squeezing it in. And, yeah, I get what I do is I take the trash out and I put it in there. And then I take a shovel and I just beat it down so that so the lid goes down. Yeah, that's my strategy. It's not ideal, but that's what we're working with here. Let me check my beef. Oh yeah. Oh, that's really nice beef. Now this is an 80-20, and then we also have that sausage. So we're probably going to have a little extra fat in here, probably more than we need. I like some fat because that's delicious, but I don't want it swimming in it, so you might have to drain a little bit off. We're going to wait and see, get this all browned up, and yeah, see what we're dealing with. See if we need to take some of that fat off. And don't pour it down your sink. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Your plumber will not be happy, and you will not be happy with your plumber's bill. All right, just let that do what it does. We are very fortunate. Our plumbing is quite good in this house. In this neighborhood, so my house is about 50 years old. And in this neighborhood, you either had really good plumbing or really good electrical. And if you had really good plumbing, then you usually had really bad electrical. So this house actually burned down in 1980. We bought it after 1980. So the house burned down in 1980 because it had bad electrical. And there have been a lot of fires in this neighborhood because of bad electrical. Anyhow, we did not live here at the time. It didn't affect us. And now we have excellent electrical when they rebuilt the house. And we have excellent plumbing. And I'm not throwing my fats down the drain because, yeah, I'm keeping my plumbing excellent. So, yeah, we'll just offset that if we need to. Getting my hamburger all browned up. All right, fantastic, fantastic. Before I add any of my veg, I want my meat to brown because I'm gonna, we are gonna drain that off. So I don't want to drain off any of my delicious onion or any of my precious bell pepper because that is all I have today. It's gonna be fun. I have this big can. What is this? 28 ounces of San Marzano whole tomatoes. And I got it 50% off because it has a big old dent in it. Yeah. So this was normally like $5. Got this for about $2.50. It also has fresh leaf basil in there. Yay, hooray. So I got it $2.50. Whole tomatoes are not exactly what I want today. I would really like to have diced tomatoes. So we are going to go ahead and just get my tomatoes all prepared. And Marzano tomatoes are extra yummy and delicious. They have a very good, bright, vibrant flavor that is just super delicious with your Italian foods. Yay, hooray. It's got that little bit of basil in there. That's just fine. I still have some growing out back, so I'm going to pick some fresh basil too. It's not going to hurt a bit. Now I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to go in there and kind of give these a chippity chop. I could get my food processor out. I could get my immersion blender out and give these a zap up, a zip, zip, zip. But, I'm not really feeling like cleaning anything else. I got a sink full of dishes back there from this morning. So, I'm just going to go ahead and chop these up, give these a little chippy chop right in the can. It'll be fine. They're pretty tender. It's not going to hurt a bit. Not one bit. It's going to be delicious. And they will break down in my sauce because I do have a little bit of simmering time available. Thank goodness. I like that you think it cooked all day but it didn't flavor. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fantastic. What do you put in your spaghetti? Tell me down below. Okay, so my beef is doing really well. My sausage is cooking up quite nicely. And I just have a pair of tongs here and a little bit of paper towel. This is my favorite way to manage that grease from the ground beef because I like 80-20. I think it tastes the best. I like the flavor from all that fat, but I don't need all the extra calories. We don't need all that grease, and this is good and brown. So I'm just going to mop up some of that grease now that this is good and brown, just like that. You're not going to get all of it this way, but we're going to leave some behind. I don't want my spaghetti to be like an oil slick, but yeah, I still want some of that flavor. So I'm just mopping it up here with my little paper towel. It's going to be okay. Let me tell you a funny story about hamburger grease and Andrew. So when we were first married, we were young and in love. Anyhow, I was working like a 10 to 10 shift, 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And he would wait for me to get home from work to make dinner. And we would eat like, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I said to him one day, it would be really nice to come home from my 12-hour shift, and since you've been home for hours, that maybe you cook me something. I don't know how to make anything. What do you want me to cook? I don't know. And I said, well, what do you think you can cook? He said, well, I think I can cook hamburger helper. And I said, well, hot diggity. I like hamburger helper. Hamburger helper, to me, was such a luxury item. Because growing up, one of 9 kids, we never had hamburger helper. That was for people that had small families. We never had hamburger helper. I'm turning this down to like a 4 now. We never had hamburger helper. But when there's just 2 of you and you're young and in love, well, yeah, hot diggity, you're going to have hamburger helper. So I said, okay, well, you know what? You go to the store and you buy the hamburger helper that rocks your boat. I don't care what flavor. You buy the hamburger, buy a can of green beans or something like that. Yeah, you can make dinner. We'll enjoy it when I get home. We'll be eating at 10:30 instead of, midnight. It'll be an improvement. Got my onion in there. Gonna throw my bell pepper in now too. My secret ingredient, is Worcestershire sauce. I always add just a little bit to my spaghetti. Will be fantastic. It really amps up that delicious flavor from the beef and from the sausage. Go ahead and get those peppers and onions cooking in there, as much or as little as you like. That's fine and dandy with me. I don't care. I'm not going to complain about it. Don't add them at all. So anyhow, he goes to the store. He picks out some hamburger helper. It was beef stroganoff. He gets a can of green beans and a pound of ground beef. And he's going to make me dinner. I'm super excited. I'm talking him up at work all day long. Andrew's making me something for dinner tonight. He's making dinner for me. I don't have to go home and cook. Yippee, skippy, yay, hooray. I'm talking to him. I come through the door. Oh, the smells. Somebody made dinner for me. My heart is just, my heart is just so full. Somebody made dinner for me. Yay, hooray. It looked fantastic. Everything looked fantastic. Smelled good. He didn't even make too big of a mess in the kitchen. I'm thinking this is all right. We can do this more often. Hot dog. Sit down. And I'll bring you a beverage. Oh my goodness, So he brings me a Pepsi. I sit down and we start loading our plates up with our hamburger helper and our green beans and everything, And we're talking about our day, and I take my first bite. Well, that's different. There's something different about this, but I don't say anything. I just keep on going because, when you ask somebody for help, you have to accept the help that they give. You can't be too critical because then they won't help you anymore. So I'm just eating. This is different. Andrew, I've got my plate. That's delicious. Thank you so much. And he's kind of got this sheepish look on his face. And I said, you did a really, really good job with dinner. What was your secret ingredient? He said, I knew it was the wrong thing to do, but I couldn't, Anyhow, I had told him, brown your ground beef and then go ahead and drain it. And make sure you get as much of the, fats and oils off as you can, because I don't want it to be like an oil slick. Anyhow, he had washed it with a little Palmolive dish soap to get all the oils and fats off. And it had a very soapy kind of a taste. Anyhow, God bless him. I was so thrilled. I ate it anyhow. Little soap won't hurt a bit. Yeah. He's one of a kind. And so when people say, does Andrew cook for you? No, not really. I didn't criticize him. I did think it was hysterical. I went to bed with a full belly. And I didn't make dinner that night. So even though it was not super yummy, delicious, you know what? It was lovely. We are working our way through this marinated garlic. So I started off with the really big jug. Then we went down to the mason jar. Now we're in this little tiny, we're just working our way through this. So I am going to put some of this marinated garlic in there until my heart is happy. And maybe that's about a tablespoon and a half. We're going to taste it and see if it needs anything else. But I didn't want to put it in too early because I don't want my garlic to all burn up. Wanted to give my onions and peppers a chance to just get translucent in there. I've got it cooking at about a 4 now, and I don't want my garlic to burn up, and it has just enough oil that it's lightly coating the bottom. Oh, I had a runner. Get back in there. It'll be fine. Now, when I cook, I have very thoroughly sanitized all of my workstations. I don't worry about a little something like putting it back into the pan. Plus, this is going to go well above 200 degrees, I can guarantee you. So any cooties that it may have caught, yeah, they'll equal out in the end. It'll be okay. Okay, those onions, that garlic, those peppers, they've got a little cook on them now. My onions are a little bit translucent. They're all ready. Let's go ahead and add a can of the San Marzano tomatoes. Yes, please, and thank you. There we go. Oh, those chopped up pretty darn good. I'm not mad at that at all. Go ahead and get those in there. I could use fresh tomatoes. I would be just fine with that. But I've had these for a couple of months, and you know, it does have the dent in it. So I don't want to tempt fate. Yeah, I don't want botulism. Yeah, that's no good. Nobody likes botulism. I'm also going to go ahead and add my Classico spaghetti sauce. This is fire roasted tomato and garlic. Yes, please, and thank you. Oh, okay, that was really on there. I'm gonna go ahead and add that all in. Yay, hooray. Fantastic. Got about a quarter of a cup of water in here because I want every darn last bit. Plus, I love these Classico jars. I'm going to give it a good wash up, take the label off, and then who knows what I'll store in it. Something dry, something for the freezer, a sauce, something from the dehydrator. Ooh. Okay, well, as you can see, we are darn near to the top of my my skillet here. So stir very carefully because you don't want to wear it. And spaghetti is one of those things that you really need an apron for because it will make a little bit of a mess. And I think tomato sauce is just dreadful to get out of laundry. It's just the pits. All right, I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to turn this down to a 2. And the reason I'm turning it down to a 2 is because the boiling point of tomato sauce is very low. That's why you think you've just got it at a low simmer on a 4 or 5, and you come back and your whole stove is covered with splatters. Yeah, because the boiling point is lower. Because it's more viscous. Yeah. Like the boiling point of water, 212 degrees. Boiling point of milk, about 220. So yeah, this probably right around 190. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but that would be my guess. boiling point is probably going to be about 190. I'm going to put a lid on it because I don't want to clean up all of the splatters. And I'm just going to let that go for a little while. Then I'm going to come back. We're going to add some more stuff. Alrighty. Well, I thought that I had a little bit of red wine swirled away, but I don't. But that's okay. If you've got some, go ahead. Add it on in. I do have a little bit of this Mrs. Dash tomato basil garlic. So I am going to go ahead and put in a fair amount of that. Just a little bit added flavor boost. None of the salt, none of the guilt, all of the yums. I can get behind that. I can dig it, baby. I also have some of my delicious Italian seasoning mix. We're down to the dregs. Yeah, I gotta make some more. So maybe I'll do that at the end of the week when I do my grocery pickup, order, and get all of those in there. I am also going to add a little bit of fresh basil, but right at the end. But this has got dry basil, oregano, a little bit, tiny bit of saffron, a little tiny bit of fennel in it. It's got all the things. Yeah, this is all the things in it. It's got a little tiny bit of basil and oregano and a little tiny bit of fennel in it and parsley, all the yums. Yay, hooray. And I like how big the herbs are in this. They're substantial. I can get behind that. All right, gonna give this a little bit of a stir in very gently because we are almost to the tippity top. It might be an okay thing that I didn't have any red wine because I do not want to overflow my pot because then I'm really gonna have to scrub my my drip pans. I hate that. I like to just give them a wipe out every day when I'm done and get on with it. I don't want to have to scrub them. That's miserable. Just give them a wipe out every day and don't worry about having to scrub them. That's a good tip. All right, I've almost got all my dishes done. I'm also going to take my trash out. Now, my little niece Cookie and her boyfriend, they are just precious because when they come over, one of the first things that they do is check my garbage. And if my garbage needs to go out, they will take it out for me, that's just the best gift that I could get. Let me tell you, I hate to take out the trash. But they don't, we miss trash day, so they would have to do the shovel. And I don't want them to have to pound the trash down in the can with the shovel. That's on me. All right, I've got this little bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down to a 1. Just going to let it simmer. It's just going to simmer. All of that's all cooked. My meat is past the danger zone. I just wanted to have that cooked all day at Granny's house kind of a taste. I'm not her granny, but boy, she's my favorite. I could just squeeze her. I was also poking around in the cabinet. I know I have got to stop adding one more thing. I can't help it. I was poking around in the cabinet and found a little bit of the mushrooms I dried the other day, about a 1/4 cup of them. And since we have so much liquid in here, I am just going to add those right on in. They've got plenty of time, water and heat to rehydrate. And now I've got a new jar. Gonna get this washed up, put it back in rotation, fill it up with something else delicious. I try to get out a little saucer or a spoon rest when I'm cooking, especially something as messy as spaghetti sauce. Something that I'll stir a couple of times because I don't want to lay my spoon down on the counter, even though it's nice and clean. Because that's gonna be really challenging to scrub up at the end of the night. Make as little work for yourself as possible because that little saucer, a little spoon rest, way easier to clean up than having to scrub on the counter. You know, you got to get your nail into it sometimes. That's the pits. All right, well, my spaghetti sauce has just been simmering away. My water is already to a boil. I've got a pound of whole wheat, whole grain thin spaghetti. This is very much like angel hair. That is my favorite. Yay, hooray. And I am going to go ahead and get this. I'm going to cook the whole thing. Absolutely. I go ahead and just put it right on in there. And then this cooks very quickly. It's going to be ready to go in 6 to 7 minutes. Yep. It's going to be just fine. While I'm getting that all boiling up, going to grab my colander, get it in my sink. I did my dishes. I even put them away. That way, when company comes, they don't think that I've spent time doing this. They think that, like a magical, fairy godmother, that I just whipped it all up in no time. Nobody needs to know, baby, that you put some effort into it. I didn't work that hard, and I got to spend time with all my lovies. That's you. Yeah. Mwah. Big smooches. Big squeeze-a-ronies. Yippee skippy. Dinner's almost done. I'm starving to death. My belly's hitting my backbone. I also thought we needed a little bit of dessert, because don't come over to Aunt Shorty's house without getting a little yum-yum. Anyhow, I had some of these, a log of that cookie dough. It was a sugar cookie. Anyhow, I've just sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top. Semi-homemade, Preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And those are going to take about 12 minutes. And they'll think I cooked all day. All right, my lovies. Well, I did end up combining the noodles and the meat sauce together because honestly, I just prefer it that way. I like for that sauce to permeate those noodles extra. Yeah, just extra. Fantastic. All right, I've got a little bit here. They're just about here. Everybody's getting ready to eat. Got a little bit of Parmesan Reggiano, and I'm going to give mine just a little sprinkle. Yay, hooray. I think that looks super yummy and delicious. We're going to get down to it, babies. Oh, and my cookies. They're just about ready to come out of the oven, too. I almost forgot. I wanted to put a few fresh basil leaves, and I had to run out in the rain and go get them out of the garden. I wanted to put a few fresh basil leaves in there. I gave these a brief wash out, and I am just using my herb scissors to give these a chippity chop, a little chiffonade, if you will. And that is just going to be a bright, spectacular little bite. Yes, please, and thank you. Get those all on in there. Yay, hooray. There we go. Perfect. Give that a little stir up. We're ready to go. We're ready for prime time. I'm so hungry. All right, let's get my cookies out of the oven. Oh yeah, they're done. Yep, those are done. Alright, so we even have some fresh baked cookies. Nobody will know that, they came from a log. Nope, not at all. Alright, I'm going to get these cooling off. I'm going to get these on a plate. I'm going to eat that little bit of spaghetti. And we're just going to have a fine time here tonight. Hey, my lovies, send you all a ton of smooches, great big squeezy hugs, and thanks for watching Crazy But Not Dangerous. I love you, babies. Absolutely. Thank you for all your love and support and kindness. I appreciate it. All right. Be good, be careful. Look both ways. I'll see you next time. Bye now.